Hello everyone and welcome to FiST Chat, the vodcast that features discussions on the topics of film, science and technology. My name is Ben Warner and I'm joined once again by my good friend and colleague Steve Kern. How are we today, Steve?
I'm good, thanks Ben. Hi FiST Chat fans, looking to having a little nap after we finish this show today.
A bit tiring, yeah? And we need to get some deep sleep.
We certainly do.
But before we get into that, don't forget our website, FiSTChat.com. You can get all our links there. You can subscribe to our audio via iTunes, SoundCloud and our RSS feeds and our videos on YouTube, Vimeo and Digicosm TV. You can interact with us on Twitter, Google Plus and Facebook, so I'd love to hear from you. We've got our ebook, The FiST Report, at fistreport.com, 99 cents, hosted on Amazon, and helps to support the show. Great read too. And we've got our supplementary content, the weekly blogs, photography on Instagram and Flickr. And recommend us to anyone who you think may be interested in our weekly discussions on film, science and technology. Now, we kind of raised this last week because we were talking about sleep, and I might discuss what we were talking about, but the overall topic that we're going to talk about today is the importance of sleep for your health and your well-being and just your ability to function during the day. It's sort of understated in today's society, which is always go, go, go. There's we have the capacity now to be sort of online 24/7, not in the sense of being on the internet, but working because everything's on and always available. So, it doesn't matter whether there's sunlight out there or it's dark. We can be functioning at any time of the day. So there's a tendency to sort of allow sleep to sort of go by the wayside and as we try to cram more and more into every day. So how that's having an effect on us as a society too is probably an interesting question, but perhaps we'll start with where this sort of topic started with us last week, I think, is the actual sleep cycle app that we're using on our iPhones at the moment. And I don't know about you, Steve, I had some interesting results in the past week since you got me onto it, and it sort of helps to understand even though it's sort of a rough guide because there's no electrodes on your head or anything to really gauge that sort of thing, but it still kind of helps with seeing where maybe you're not getting good enough sleep because it's monitoring where you're in REM sleep, when you're in deep sleep, etc., and when you're waking up and all of that. And I've found it's quite helpful. I don't know if there's anything you can do about it tells you when you're having bad sleep, but whether sort of gets you to have better sleep, I'm not sure, because I'm still sort of interpreting some of the results on that. So have you had it? You've been using it a lot longer than I have.
Almost 500 nights now, so it's very good, and the more you use it, the better it will get. I guess you have to understand, what sleep is. And people don't really know what sleep is, but we know what happens if you don't get enough sleep. So, and it's not good for your health. So basically sleep is controlled by hormone release of melatonin from the pineal gland, and it's part of a circadian rhythm. And everyone has their own rhythm. So some people naturally get up late in the morning and would go stay up late at night. And some people's naturally early risers, and they tend to naturally go to bed early. And as adults, we all need between 7 to 9 hours sleep. More either side of that is actually bad for us. And the other thing that's really important about sleep, and this gets back to the sleep cycle thing, is that we need consistent sleep that fits with our sleep cycles. So the reality is that if you like going to bed late naturally, then you need really to go to bed as late as you can and get that 7 to 9 hours of sleep.
Just a couple of things that just wanted to touch upon. There's this notion that when you go to sleep that, you just switch off, but actually your brain isn't really switching off. It's sort of taking the time out to process everything you've sort of absorbed during the day, and also devoting time to actually repairing and restoring your body for the next day. So that's kind of an interesting sort of idea, isn't it? That things are still going on, even though you're not consciously aware of it.
Yeah, well, as I say, we don't really know. Sleep is still a very mysterious thing. We know that it's important for the things that you've just said, but what's more interesting is what happens if you don't get enough sleep. So not enough sleep will obviously impair you in terms of your cognitive function. You make bad decisions, you can't remember anything, and basically you walk around like a zombie, even after 10 cups of coffee.
Mm.
The other thing that we know about it as well is that it actually is very important for our immune systems and that bodily repair.
Mm.
But at a brain level, your brain actually shifts between deep sleep and very light sleep, 5-6 times a night. And it's this sort of peaked pattern, which you can go and look up under REM, not the band, but rapid eye movement sleep. And that points up to actual moments when you almost wake up, and you're very, very lightly asleep, but your body's actually paralyzed. It's quite amazing how this works. And this is the time when you have most of your dreams as well. And then it goes to a point where you just about wake up, and then you roll over and you go back into a deep sleep. And these cycles are normally about 45 minutes to an hour long.
What about the personal nature of it? I know that you've mentioned already that you've got the average 7 to 9 hours sleep as a guide for what we really need to be looking at. There are, examples of I've known people who get by on 4 to 5 hours, or they function better when it's around 10 or 11.
I think people say that. I think people say that, but the 7 to 9 hours is actually, they have actually done research. And you go outside of that 7 to 9 hours, and most people, it's not good for your health. Those people will tend to live less.
Yeah.
So people that sleep longer than 9 hours, or say I really need it and go out and find the time to sleep 9 to maybe 11 hours or 10 or 11 hours, typically their lifespans are shorter. Likewise, the people who say, I get by on 4 hours sleep a night, no problems at all, typically their lifespans are shorter as well. We don't really know why this is, but they tend at either end of the spectrum to have more chance of developing chronic disease.
So, and just to be clear, that's on a consistent basis as opposed to just having a bad night here or a bad night there. Where
we're talking. It's like 1 4-hour sleep, won't kill you.
Yeah.
Neither will 1 11 or 12, but it's people who do this over a lifetime. We're talking about. So let's be clear about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I know for certain. Like somehow I only got about 5.5 hours sleep last night, but I'm feeling really bright and alert. So it might have just been one of those off things, and I know that I might end up having some more hours tonight, and it'll probably balance itself out.
And of course, the other thing that's quite important about the REM cycles is the fact that that's where the most lucid dreaming occurs, and that's where you tend to have the dreams that you remember. We still don't know a lot about dreams, even though some researchers, I think we reported on this on FiST Chat, have suggested they can read dreams now or put ideas of dreams into people's heads while they're sleeping. So we still don't really know the function, but we think that it's obviously got a lot to do with just the brain processing things that are going on at a subconscious level.
Absolutely. All right, we might move on from there. There's a lot of information out there on sleep, and probably encourage you, if you like, get that Sleep Cycle app, because we found it quite useful just as a guide for how good a sleep we're getting, and I don't know, maybe psychologically I can gear myself up to get some better sleep over time.
Very important, Ben.
Absolutely. All right, we might move on to our news bites now. This one from news.com.au. Male screen stars resort to crazy diets to shed weight for film roles. And the most recent example of this was the movie Jobs, with Ashton Kutcher going on the actual diets that Steve Jobs did when he was sort of, in his younger days, that
he was a fruitarian.
Yeah, it was eating only apples, wasn't it? And so
sometimes it was only apples, sometimes I think it was only carrots.
Yeah, and surprise, surprise, Kutcher is actually saying my insulin levels got pretty messed up, and my pancreas kind of went into some crazy, I don't know, the levels were really off, and it was really painful.
I mean, I don't know that he was doing that to lose weight. I think he was just doing that to get into character.
Yeah,
it couldn't be good though.
Probably a good example of that is Christian Bale with The Machinist, and then following that up, I believe, with Batman Begins, where The Machinist, he was as thin as a stick, and then for Batman he had to obviously be really the beefcake to fill into the suit. So that can't be good for you either, just sort of yo-yoing between those two.
No, but that was very popular, I think, back in the 90s, wasn't it? Or earlier, because we first had Robert De Niro eat himself into a fat pig for Raging Bull.
Oh, yeah.
And they made the film backwards or something, and then he worked it off. So they, played this or did the first part of the film at the end when he worked it all the weight off again or something. It was bizarre, and there've been other actors who have done that over the years.
Oh, well, anything to get into character.
Oh yes, we know what those actors are like, Ben.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, our science news bite from Discovery News. New fertility app tracks sex. A new app designed for couples trying to get pregnant called Glow may be one of the first attempts to crowdfund babies. The app is free, but for $50 a month, the startup will ensure that if you're not pregnant at the end of 10 months, you'll get the money back, plus more from users who do get pregnant. The founders know that fertility treatments are prohibitively expensive and woefully underfunded by insurers. So this is kind of trying to be like a cheap option in terms of, for couples to get pregnant. Is there anything that these apps can't do these days? Is everything going to be done on your phone?
Well, I think this sort of app is great because they're right. Fertility treatments are very expensive, and very often they tend, because they are so expensive, perhaps to encourage people to use the facilities when they may not need them. What good fertility is all about is about timing. And one of the things they don't actually tell you is that, sometimes even in a normal fertile couple, conception can take up to 2 years, and that's not necessarily abnormal. So that's pretty good that they are willing to refund after 10 months. I would say that with this app, if you're tracking your fertility accurately, and that's what the app allows you to do, then no problems at all. You're probably going to increase your chance of conception, and that's a good thing for everyone.
Yep, exactly. And our final news bite, our tech one, also from Discovery News. Too hot to run, new designs offer cooling aid. Long before performance apparel replaced cotton t-shirt, the concept was in play. Think of men dressed in flowing white fabric riding across deserts on camels, or of elite runners cutting excess fabric out of their singlets. And some of the newest technologies include fabric treated with xylitol to react to sweat. New Balance claims it can lower body temperature by 2 degrees. Others use volcanic material to promote faster drying. Tech in your wardrobe.
Is this sportswear jumping the shark, Ben?
Yeah.
I mean, who of us actually get so incredibly sweaty that we require to drop our body temperatures by 2 degrees and dry out instantly? I don't know. Really?
What about, you're having a shower while you're on the run? You don't need to worry about going for a change when you're done with your workout.
I guess that would be where I see it being useful. But today, the moisture wick shirts, they dry out so quickly if it's a hot day. Because let's face it, you don't actually sweat that much unless it's a super hot day.
Yeah. If
you're doing anything other than running, it's great. I love this sort of technology. I'd prefer just to have, these nano products in our shirts, they stop them stinking. I guess that's a good thing. So you can just keep wearing it and it will be dry. So I think that is fantastic. But, for instance, if you're hiking or if you're in the jungle or something, but honestly, for just running for recreation's sake, I'm not sure that they actually achieve anything.
Yeah, there's always a change of clothes nearby. You don't need to fret.
And everyone's going to tell you to have a shower anyway. That's what they do to me.
Exactly. All right, Steve, we might wrap it up there. So thanks again for the chat.
No problems. Tweet us FiST Chat fans with, your latest sports gear, or tweet us with your sleep cycles.
Absolutely. All right, that's it for this episode. So we'll catch you next time.